Hello, hello. Today's Wednesday, October 17th?
18th.
October 18th. Welcome to Pick Central, Barstool's daily gambling show. It's your boy Big Ev with Smitty, Clemmer. We got Dukes, we got Jason behind the glass, and as always, we are presented by Cars.com. Cars.com is a leading digital marketplace that connects car shoppers with their perfect car, celebrating 25 years of helping shoppers research, find inventory, finance, and sell cars. Wherever life takes you next, whoever you're looking to be, there's a car on that for Cars.com. Up to 50,000 cars are added daily to Cars.com. Show over 2 million cars for 2 million possibilities. Listen, we know it's a hassle. I've said it a bunch of times. Not the smartest car guy. Cars.com is the place for you, the place for guys that don't know what's going on. They will help you. They will figure it out and get you the car that you are looking for, the perfect match. Shut out Cars.com, best in the business. Spitty.
Ev.
Phillies.
Delicious.
10-0.
Little league blowout, baby.
Merrill Kelly poked the bear.
He did.
And the Philly fan base responded.
Yeah, not just the fan base, but the Phillies, starting with Aaron Nola. Like the guy we talked about yesterday, he was so far off with his negotiations with the Phillies. He wanted like 8 years, $200 million before the year. Phillies were offering around like 4 to 5 years, 120, 140. Yeah, he might get $1 billion.
I was going to say it might be 6 years, $200 million.
Yeah.
How old is he? Like 30?
He's 30, 31.
Okay.
But he came out and balled. His ERA in the postseason is like .98 right now. I think maybe even lower, .83 if I remember. He came, he saw, he conquered. And if him and Zach Wheeler, who currently has the lowest whip in Major League Baseball history in the postseason, pitched the way they are pitching, it's going to be tough, whoever comes out of Texas. It's going to be tough for the rest of the series for the Diamondbacks to win at least one off them, which they're going to have to do. And it's going to be tough in the World Series. And these bats, man, this team is just a wagon right now. They are just a wagon. It doesn't matter what's put out in front of their faces. They're playing together as one, and they have the ultimate it factor going for them. Bryce Harper is dominating. And Kyle Schwarber, it's 3 home runs in the last 2 games. Alec Boehm finally got the bat going last night, but there was a point last year where he was making 3 errors in 1 inning. He's like a Gold Glove Brooks Robinson or Mike Schmidt out there. How could I go Brooks there, Clemmer? Jesus Christ. Everything is just falling into place right now at the right time, and it's honestly going to be very, very difficult for anybody to play against them. I know the Rangers are rolling, and you got 2 games minimum left with the Diamondbacks. But even towards the end of the season, whenever the Phillies would lose, like they lost a bunch of games in extra innings and where they had a lead and blew it or came back and blew it, it seemed like every single loss, you were like, how the fuck they lose that? How they should have won that game. And that was consistently going through the end of the year. On top of them just winning game after game after game. Them getting to 90 wins was an impressive feat on its own. And them just doing it now, like it's a wagon, man. It's a wagon.
I mean, I don't want to jinx you now. Obviously, huge game tonight in Arlington, but it just feels like we're on a collision course for the unstoppable force for the immovable objects.
Yeah.
You guys, the Phillies and the Rangers have just been so dominant. And like I said, you can't count the Astros. If they lose tonight, they're in trouble, but...
They're in trouble? Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You got what I'm saying.
The Astros have to win tonight.
They're in trouble right now.
I think they will win tonight.
If they win tonight, it's like series is just back on, flips on its head.
I don't know if that's true, but
we'll see.
There's a lot of reasons why the Rangers are in a much better position than the Astros.
But with
they're up 2-0 on the road.
What's that?
Because they're up 2-0 going on now.
No, it's also the pitching staff. No, it's more complicated than that. You got Framber Valdez, who hasn't been able to pitch his way out of a paper bag the last month. So if he's going to make another start this series, he'd be pitching Game 6. That's almost an L. He's been so bad lately. So when you have issues like that, I don't know. I don't know how the Astros come back in this series. You have Max Scherzer tonight. I don't think you get a lot from him, but they have guys like Andrew Heaney and Dane Dunning that can come in and kind of work almost as like a second starter. And then you know John Gray tomorrow, but the Astros have Urquidy, who has an ERA of 5.8.
The Astros are going to have to get their bats cooking.
I just don't know I don't know how the math works where the Astros are able to come back. You know, obviously anything can happen in baseball, but I don't know how it works out. What's the scenario where the Astros come back?
They score more runs than the Rangers.
Yeah,
no shit. But how do you see this shaking out? How do you see the Astros coming back?
I mean, it's just I would agree with Smitty. What we were talking about a little before. I mean, their bats just got to get going.
Yeah, and I know you don't agree with.
Their pitching definitely is lesser.
And you
bats have got to get going now, like tonight. They have to get going.
Yeah, and you grew up, Clemmer, in Billy Bean's ball sack. You still have to play the game, and I know you don't agree that pedigree matters. This is the Astros. They're here 7 straight years for a reason.
No, that's not at all. That's terrible analysis. The team 7 years ago is no bearing on the team now.
We're not doing this again.
Why?
The Astros are more equipped to come back 0-2 than the Diamondbacks, who are 0-2
because the Astros are a better
situation.
Because they're a better team.
They have more, but
why does that bother you guys? Evan Carter,
they've been there for 7 years. You can't count them out.
It means like nothing. That they're like them being there before.
It means everything. Then the Astros should be. It doesn't mean the Rangers right now.
It doesn't mean everything, but you're just like throwing them in the garbage can already.
Because it doesn't. Because there's no. What is the basis for this analysis? Like, how do you come to this conclusion besides what you've heard on ESPN or whatever? What makes you think that way?
Because they've been there
it's a
before.
Lazy sports narrative. It's a lazy.
It's not lazy when Jose Altuve and a bunch of these guys.
Altuve made a huge mistake.
Clemmer, I just want to say something. I think you learn a lot about a team and how to handle adversity. The Rangers haven't faced an ounce of adversity this entire postseason.
Well, no, but they faced a lot of it in the regular season.
That's so.
They had to come back those last 2 weeks.
Adversity in the playoffs and adversity in the regular season, two wildly different things.
Why?
Because one's the playoffs, the other one's the regular season.
But why is it different?
Because it's October.
But why is it different for the player playing the game, the sport?
I'm just saying, you learn the most about a team when their back is up against the wall, when they're feeling the fire, and we saw that with the Phillies last round when they blew that game in Game 2. What'd they do the next 2 games? They beat the Braves. The Rangers haven't been knocked down yet. We have to see how they respond to being knocked down.
They were knocked down all month of September, and they had series they had to win, or else they wouldn't have made the playoffs, and they won them.
Yes, okay, they did it versus Seattle Mariners. What happens when you play a team like the Houston Astros? Where if you drop a game to them?
That's a 2.
But Framber Valdez, that's an L automatically. Jose Urquidy has an ERA of 5. The game's already over.
Why is that bad, Smitty? To have
it's not bad, but you're already saying it's over.
No, I didn't say. I literally didn't say that. I said that anything can happen in baseball. I said I don't see a path where the Astros can come back. What is that path?
You cannot give your opponent an inch. That's all I'm saying. Don't let them back in the series. All right. Because you'll regret it.
I just think it's Clemmer. I think you just.
Weird
I think
cliches.
No, but it's sure it's a cliche, I guess. But I think cliches are there. But I think they're there for a reason.
Because people are bored and lazy.
Well, no, I just think you look at human beings as if they're just robots.
I don't. No. That's always the perception. I'm looking.
No, but you do.
No, you do. In a way.
How do I?
Because you were saying, it's October, therefore these... No, at the end of the day, they're just playing baseball. They're guys playing baseball. They're athletes, professional athletes. I'm going to lean on that more than a calendar switch of a different month.
But it's not a calendar switch. I mean, but...
I'm going to look at the talent of the guys playing the game. Because I've been watching them all year.
The team that has been in the World Series a billion times last year. It hasn't
been a billion times. They've been to the LCS the last 6 years.
Is there some... Is it like... How can we do this for football terms for like the viewer that might not be a baseball fan like myself? Like, is this like the Jaguars playing the Chiefs, and you're like, well, you just got to take the Chiefs because the Chiefs have been there a billion times and they've done it for the past 6 years, consistently winning in the playoffs. And it's like, yeah, backs against the wall. Chiefs don't look that good. Jags are a new hot team, but you just got to take the Chiefs.
It's tough because it's the one game.
Yeah, I know
it's also tough because the quarterback means so much. The quarterback means so much more to an NFL team than any one player means for.
But you could find correlation.
I mean, not but from the quarterback perspective. I just mean more as a playoff team.
Well, I don't care with it.
I'm trying to hear. I hear their argument more than your argument. To be fair, and I'm a neutral point of view here.
I mean, you're trying to compare 2 different things, but it's almost like. Mahomes, that does matter that he's been able to come back 6 times. But the roster, it's like the Chiefs' defense. It's like the Chiefs' defense did really well 7 years ago, so therefore they're going to do well now. No, it has no bearing. The players are entirely different. It's not a good.
The play analysis. Now that the Astros roster is the same. Like they definitely, obviously, there's been some moving parts. But there's definitely quite a few guys there that are the same.
There's some guys, but there are also guys that gotten older and worse. Bregman's not the same player he was 3 years ago.
He's hit pretty well. I hear
he's not his season. Look at his regular season. It's a huge step down.
I'm saying he's hit pretty well in the playoffs. No.
Yeah, he's done okay. They played 8 games. Like that's a small sample size. Alex Bregman right now is not the player he was 3 years ago.
That's
just a fact.
To be fair, none of the Astros really hit that well in the playoffs so far. I guess outside of Yordan Alvarez, none of it.
Altuve's been bad. What's his name has been bad too. Tucker's been bad for sure.
I'm gonna
Kyle
have to place a live bet on the Astros for the series now. This is just making me.
I'm not
Ego
even,
bet.
I'm not
Ego
even
bet.
betting them. I just think they win tonight because I just don't think they're just gonna get like swept.
I
in the
agree.
playoffs.
But-
If they do, I'll be like, hey, I'm wrong, and
That's
if they lose in 4 or 5 games, I'll be like, hey, hand up, I was wrong.
And Scherzer hasn't pitched in a month, and even before he hasn't pitched in a month, he wasn't that great.
That's why I think there's a really good chance. I've been saying all along, I think the Phillies are going to sweep the Diamondbacks. Not because of playoff experience. The Phillies are that much better. I don't think this will be a sweep. I think this is the game, especially this one tonight, where the Astros can win. Because I don't know who knows what we're getting out of Scherzer, right? He hasn't pitched in over a month. My bet today is he's going to go 12 and a half outs or less. Because I don't think he's going to be pitching in the 5th. But the Astros do have Dunning. They do have Heaney. That's not a bad guy to have back you up. And it also means you won't burn your bullpen out.
And Clemmer, if the Astros win tonight, it's a series, and we start to learn what team are the Texas Rangers when they face adversity.
I mean, that's foolish because wasn't it a series game 1 and the Rangers won that?
No, the series doesn't start till a team loses.
Okay.
Till loses a game.
Until a team loses.
Until a
Till
team
a team
loses
loses
a
a game
game
on
at
the road.
home.
So if someone gets swept, the series never started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Another
in my
weird
mind,
cliche.
this Philly series hasn't started because it's just a bye for them.
Okay.
The way you say the Astros, you can't see them coming back. You don't see a path. I mean, that's obviously preposterous.
I asked you.
Can
nine
I
times.
finish my fucking statement?
You can't. Well, you just said I was out of my mind, but you won't answer the question that I proposed to you. What's the path?
What's okay? They win tonight. Framber Valdez finds what he had last year or at the beginning of the season where he was cruising. Urquidy's not a bad pitcher. The bats wake up. Yordan Valdez gets a transplant of body fluids, so he's not sick anymore, even though he is sick and he's hitting 2 bombs in a game, and they win the series. It's not that difficult to rationalize.
Well, everything has to change. The way everything is going we have to see them give entirely different performances.
You're just acting like.
Where are we?
Valdez hasn't pitched well in a month and a half. I've been watching these games. I don't know if you guys have been.
This is pointless.
But
This
you're
is
at-
a
but-
pointless
but-
exercise.
Clemmer,
Are the people who
Clemmer.
haven't been watching baseball?
No. Don't
That's
do
what
You've
it
been watching
feels like.
baseball all your life. You're
That's what
blowing
it
the
feels
club.
like.
You're blowing the Cubs all year. They didn't make the playoffs.
They had it.
Fact.
Facts.
Fact.
I just think you're acting as if because something like you have a bad little run that one day you can wake up. They're professional players. They're very good at what they do.
Of course, that's my point.
But you're acting as if they just can't find it one day. Like they have it in them.
I think Valdez is hurt.
You're acting as if these bad. You're acting like just because you had a bad say you got held to 1 run the day before that they can't go put 9 in the board.
I never said that. My whole thing is that the team has more talent, they're more likely to win.
You are definitely
Rangers are a
alluding to
more
that.
talented team than the Astros. I've been saying that all year. The win differential isn't very much, but the Astros have a better team than the Rangers have a better team than the Astros do. I've been saying that all year.
The Astros had a better record at the end of the season. How did you project that in the playoffs?
It's a one-game difference.
It's a 1-game difference. Boy, that's
not much.
that's
All right.
facts on the table.
This proves that you're not. All right. I don't know. It's frustrating arguing baseball with people that almost sound like they don't know the sport very well.
There's
See,
no
that's-
arguments.
No, but it's
You are saying it's established fact that
I never said anything's an established fact. You keep putting words in my mouth.
the W thing with Urquidy, you did say Urquidy.
What did I say about Urquidy? He had a 5.8 ERA.
said
That's
you-
pretty bad.
No, I'm saying you said that was basically just a W for the Rangers.
and you said
No, I said
you said you can't
Valdez.
see Valdez winning.
Because the Urquidy matchup is against John Gray, and we haven't seen him in a long time. So I didn't say that. I said that was a game that the most likely going to lose. I don't like the Urquidy matchup. I really don't like Framber Valdez. He's been really bad the last month. He keeps going at his shoulder when he pitches. I think he's hurt.
So what happens tonight if the Astros put up a 10 spot?
They go and play game. I think it obviously puts the Astros in a better spot. I still think the Rangers win this series pretty easily.
Yeah, but what if the Astros bats are back?
Yeah. Oh, yes. What if anything happens, Smitty? What if a meteor hits the ground? What are we talking about here? Yeah. What if?
So
That's not good analysis. Smitty. A child can do that.
Okay. So predictions and subjective analysis
You have
only
to have
matter when
reason.
you say it, but when other people say it, it's,
no.
oh, you're a moron. You never watched baseball.
No, because you're not providing examples. You're just using cliches to back up your arguments. You need to say why things are going to happen and give a reason. That's a good argument. It's a good discussion. Just saying
that's
something.
that's not entirely true. I don't believe either. Just because somebody has facts, you're shitty pitcher score, it's just at the end of the game, who gets the most runs in the game wins. It doesn't matter what you come in with this basic this fact about the ERAs. If the Astros score more runs than the Rangers tonight, then this whole argument is baseless. And again, I'm a neutral point of view. I don't give a fuck what happens in this series.
Right.
Clemmer, if the Texas Rangers start trailing in playoff innings as opposed to leading every single one, maybe they lose a game.
That's a good analysis.
Here, I got something for Clemmer with the stats. I mean, so
It's not just about stats.
that's what you bring up.
No, I bring up more than that. I'm saying a guy is hurt. I've said it 5 times. You guys keep ignoring that.
The Rangers bullpen.
Okay.
They've been pitching out of their minds in the postseason.
Incredible.
Due for some regression. That's just that's math. That's numbers.
Yeah, they absolutely
For some
are.
regression.
Yeah. Now,
And you were the person at the end of the year going to the playoffs who said that Rangers didn't have a chance because of that bullpen. Because they historically were one of the worst bullpens of all time, and they switched the fucking switch.
I
like that.
never said that.
They blew 33 saves.
They've not been one of the historically worst bullpens.
They blew 33 saves and had 30 saves. That's the only time in Major League Baseball that happened. That's a fact, Clemmer.
Yep.
Yeah. So how is that historically not one of the worst bullpens of all time?
They historically have the worst bullpen in MLB history that's made the playoffs, essentially.
Thank you. That's a big difference. They're not one of the historically worst bullpens of all time, Smitty. There's teams that don't make the playoffs that are very bad.
I don't know what I'm.
It is wild for their bullpen to be as bad as it was, and to be 2 games from the World Series.
But that's saying that things can change like that.
Sure,
in
no
baseball.
doubt. I agree.
Also, things can change. Also, rosters change. In the playoffs, you're dealing with fewer players in theory. You have kind of your roster more locked in. The Rangers have a guy, Evan Carter, that came in, plays left field really well the last 16 games of the season.
Yeah, what about
their offense?
What about Chapman blowing every single save under the sun towards the end of the season and coming in? And yeah, he's gave up a couple runs, but he hasn't blown anything yet.
He hasn't been their closer. It's been Leclerc.
Okay, he hasn't blown anything in the 8th inning yet.
No, he hasn't. He's pitched well in the 8th inning. Right.
Genuine question. How many times did you bet on Kershaw in the playoffs?
Did I bet on Kershaw in the playoffs this year?
No, just like if you saw Kershaw betting in the pitching in the playoffs in like 2017.
Depends what the matchup was.
Would you bet on him, or would you look at him and be like, the historical significance is he kind of sucks in the playoffs?
No,
Do you not take that into account?
I would always bet on the talented guy. And he was more often than not the talented guy. And he had many very good postseason starts. He had a lot of bad ones too.
More bad than good.
I think it's kind of a mix.
Ev, I know we weren't really planning on this, but a lot of people have a lot of thoughts. Can we get some people in?
Yeah. Let me.
Yeah.
You go ahead and just put them on for me. Or you want me to get the?
Yeah. I can get them on for you.
To finish my statement before Clemmer interrupted me, Clemmer can't see the path for the Astros to come back down 0-2. I definitely can't see a path where the Diamondbacks come back and win this series, especially since the biggest detriment to the Diamondbacks is their pitching depth after Kelly and Gowan, and right now they are facing 3 straight games, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't see how they survive.
That's a problem. Definitely a problem.
No, I completely agree, Smitty.
Thank you, Chris.
Phillies are a much better team than the Diamondbacks. Phillies are really good. I think the Phillies are going to win the World Series. Phillies are really good, and I think they also match up really well against the Rangers. I mean, unless Scherzer and Gray have some, we just don't know what we're going to get from them. And the fact that the Phillies have 6 starting pitchers and the Rangers have 2 and then 2 hurt guys, I don't know how that matchup's going to work very well for them. Phillies lineup's also just terrifying.
I don't know who I'd rather play right now. I'd almost rather see if the Astros come back and win, then like the Astros are kind of rolling.
Yeah,
it's like motherfucker.
Yeah.
But then the Bochy effect.
We got Tyler from Texas, Astros fan.
Tyler, we got you. What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? So Clemmer is just so off on the whole Astros thing. I mean,
Why?
I
Talk
don't
to me,
understand
Tyler.
it. You have Alex Bregman, Martin Maldonado, Jose Altuve, Justin Verlander. All those guys are staples of that team.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't think that postseason experience holds any value in this series, just totally wrong. I don't understand it at all.
What's Maldonado's batting average this playoffs?
No, so he's a team leader.
Okay.
He is terrible hitting-wise. He's last in the league in framing. He's the worst receiver ever. But his chemistry with the pitchers, the entire bullpen, is off the charts. It's unvaluable.
I agree. It is
Alex Bregman
unvaluable.
is the heart and soul of this team. He almost took Chapman Yard the other night. It's unvaluable. You're just
It is
so
unvaluable.
off.
I agree.
The Mets don't have anyone like this. I mean, I guess it's hard to understand Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso's the only type of player that's Alex Bregman-esque, Jose Altuve, but Yeah, I guess being stuck with Daniel Vogelback, you don't really understand it. But
Right.
Thanks, Tyler.
yeah, that's all I had.
Appreciate you, Tyler. See, Clemmer, you got to watch more other teams besides the Mets. And
You're right.
you'll learn these.
Oh, I do agree that Maldonado is unvaluable.
I got a question for you, Clemmer. One at bat, bases loaded, you need 1 run in the World Series. Who are you batting? Are you batting a rookie like Josh Jung, who has more upside, might be better at the time, or are you batting Alex Bregman?
Oh, that's a good question. I probably go with Bregman.
Why?
More likely to get on base.
Why?
What about
Because he has a higher on base percentage.
what about an ice cold Altuve?
I'm not gonna. I don't want to bet someone is ice cold. What's ice cold Altuve versus who?
I guess his example, Josh.
Yeah, I don't know. Would you want to have somebody
Josh
up there? Would you want to have somebody up there who's maybe been there before?
I mean, they've all been there. Now they've all had playoff experience. So I would.
Not at that stage.
No,
What stage?
not everyone's hit walk-offs to win series and
but
big hits.
guys
and
also
big
get
moments.
older. I mean, Altuve's had a very good year, but Altuve also had the biggest error of the playoffs. A mental error. So I don't know how the playoff experience thing. I don't know how great that always is. It's about who's playing, who is the better baseball player.
I want to side with Clemmer just a bit, not full. That guy saying, "Oh, Altuve almost hit a home run off Chapman." What? Now we got to give credit for warning track flyouts?
It was Maldonado, but I agree. I didn't love that. I thought he should have picked someone else other than Martin Maldonado.
Yeah, Maldonado might as well be a coach at this point.
Yeah, he's
been dog shit for years.
He's your classic 9-hitter.
Yeah.
The chemistry thing with the pitchers is correct, but
I'll say this:
that's about where
if they're playing the Yankees, that ball's in the Crawford boxes.
probably.
We got one more for this talk, right?
Good, yeah. We'll get one more and then we'll move on.
Will, you're on.
What's up, Will?
Have you ever played a sport before? Because you talk about sports in the way that someone on the bench would and not someone in the sport. How do you not get that pressure situations change from the regular season to the postseason?
Have you played Major League Baseball?
I've played up to collegiate baseball, and I've also played football until I was a senior in high school.
Do you
So
compare
the
that?
fact
No.
you don't
I have a
get
question for you,
the-
sir.
The
I have a
changing
question.
of the seasons doesn't matter.
Yep.
It's a playoff implication. It gets you places. And the fact that
I have
you
a
think
question.
that the Astros are just out blows my mind when they've been here the past 3 years. They won a World Series.
They have. So do you compare your
You're a
athletic abilities to being a Major League Baseball player?
Write this down.
Sir?
He lost connection. Meek dropped him on accident.
That's unfair to say that's unfair to call him out saying, "Oh, do you compare your collegiate baseball?"
He called me out.
with
What
a
are you
Major League
talking
Baseball player. No, but playing sports, each level has a certain aspect of pressure revolved around it. It
To
doesn't matter if you're
pretend
in
that we
t-ball
understand-
or if you're a Major League Baseball player. So it does bring some validation.
Pretend that we
argument.
understand that what it's like to bat in NLCS, that we have any understanding in it is just ridiculous.
No. I will.
Unless you've been a professional, and I mean Major League athlete.
I'll say this. No, obviously we don't know that, but I will.
Let's stop doing that.
I
Went
will-
further in sports if I went.
I'm not gonna do the thing where like if you were good at sports, bad
the fuck
sports,
out.
played, you don't like know what's going on. But the one thing I will, going off Smitty's point, there is a certain aspect of like obviously your like high school varsity game isn't as big as the. Can't even these guys just sides.
What's that?
You can't even say anything. He's like, oh, you don't agree with me. You're a dumb idiot. I'm saying like there's some level of even to you.
You guys are doing that to me right now.
No, we're trying to get like
Not.
if you would just give an
Shut the
inch.
fuck up, Smitty. You absolutely are.
No, we're trying to
Oh,
bring
you-
we're trying to bring an actual human element into
I'm
this
saying there's a
gameplay.
human element. You guys are taking the human element out. You guys are using the cliche
No,
element.
you're taking the human element.
I'm
out.
not.
Yours is strictly he has a better batting average.
I'm
So I'd rather
not.
him at the plate.
I'm saying
or a
guys-
better on base percentage.
No, I'm
That's exactly what you said.
not.
Like no human element whatsoever.
No,
just
you guys will-
this guy has a better on base percentage this year. I want him at the plate.
You guys will have me defend an argument with one specific argument. I defend it, and you guys use that argument for every single thing moving forward. It's a very frustrating way to talk about it. You guys will talk about specifics and use that specific as an overarching theme. That's not fair.
Because it completely counteracts your entire argument.
Because each argument's different. There's not an entire argument. That's the problem.
Then why are you saying that they don't have a path to win?
Because they're down 0-2 and they're going home and they have a better team.
Listen, we'll move on from baseball.
I thought. Can I just say one thing that I thought you're trying to say before? I think that what he said was a good point, was there's bigger implications at any level in the playoff level. If you're a high school football player, high school baseball player, you play well in the playoffs, college coaches are there, you're looking to play at the next level, earn a scholarship, better your life. You're playing college baseball, you're in the College Baseball World Series, you play well, scouts are there, you could earn a big-time contract in the MLB, you could get a shot in the MLB. So, like, playoffs do have implications. For MLB players, you play well in the playoffs. Look at Daniel Murphy, probably earned a bigger contract than he deserved when he played for the Mets.
He probably didn't.
All right, whatever.
You
But you know what I'm saying?
You only made like $30 million, Dukes. So.
Only $30 million. I mean, I take that. But you can see what I'm saying. Like, you could earn.
I don't think it's a good comparison, dudes. I don't think comparing someone who played at college, which is great, good for them. They're a better athlete than me. That's for damn sure. Comparing to a Major League Baseball player in the LCS.
Any fucking level, playoffs means more. It's not like that doesn't take a rocket scientist. I played fucking high school sports. I'm not trying to say I played sports you didn't. That's not a fucking thing. But there's bigger implications in playoffs. Anyone from fucking Pee Wee, like NCYFL, for like flag football playing in the playoffs to regular season knows that playoffs means more.
I played playoff baseball in high school.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
And I would never compare myself or what I went through or what I was going through with a Major League Baseball player LCS. That is a wild leap to me.
I don't think it's. Wasn't going the playoff flavor. I was going more the, like, whatever level you're at. That is like the biggest game of your life kind of thing. So whether it's minor to you, like minor in the realm of like your life, whether you're a junior playing high school playoff baseball or like you're Alex Bregman at the plate trying to go to the World Series, it's still like relative to you. That's like the biggest like moment of your life. Won't say moment of your life, but moment of like your sports life, if you will. So I think that's more what I think that was what the caller was trying to say. There's still a level of like, to you, it still means a lot, even though that might be minuscule to like the world, as opposed to the World Series, which is big to the world because it's huge money, millions of people watch, blah, blah, blah. I think that's more the point he was trying to make, and I see that on some level because it's still a lot of pressure in that moment when you're the athlete on the field.
Clemmer, what was that computer baseball game that you play on floppy disk?
I play out of the park baseball.
Out of the
not
park
on floppy disk. I do play a baseball simulator. Yeah, I enjoy that. It's fun.
Exactly, and that
people play Madden and stuff. Are you gonna mock them too?
No. What are you talking about? I ran a video game franchise here for like 5 years. No, I know, because I'm saying you don't actually play it. You just coach and do the OPS, who has a better fucking whip to make your lineups, and you just watch them, which makes perfect sense why you're correlating to this argument.
Clemmer, you're a basketball coach, correct?
I'm not a professional basketball coach.
Will you coach a playoff basketball game any differently from a regular season game?
No.
That's an awful coach.
Okay.
You gotta tighten up a little bit. I would.
Yeah, so
I also think
you'd go playoff basketball. You'd still keep your 9-man rotation, getting Hubs in there, taking shots.
I got a team that
want to clean it up to make it a 6-man.
What a ricochet shot at Hubs. I heard he's actually decent basketball.
No, Hubs is a DJ. I just saw the stats. That's all.
Hubs did not deserve that.
Hubs actually, his stat line was pretty good. I have a team that can't remember to bring their own uniform to the game half the time. So I got my own issues with being a coach that I don't think the Rangers or Astros are facing.
We got to move on from baseball. I'm gonna say we'll get into a lot of
unhealthy.
We got to get a lot of NFL. I'll get into a lot of NFL because we have the other college guys here. But
not in a good spot.
One thing I want to talk about quick is comes to a report. I don't know how true it is, but I wanted to just for the sake of discussion. Caleb Williams. There was this report from Dov Kleiman, who I don't really believe Dov Kleiman a lot. I think he kind of just takes things from anywhere and posts it, but I thought it was a good discussion.
He's a shit stir.
Yeah, he's a shit stir. Basically claiming that Caleb Williams is saying that he wants equity with the team that drafts him. I think that's nonsense. But what I thought I had was, do you think there's a player in history that genuinely has like deserved equity? Anyone?
In theory, a lot of them deserve it, but unfortunately, the way things are lined up, they don't get. Like, you know what I mean? It's not a fair playing. It's not a fair negotiation table. But you can't tell me Michael Jordan didn't deserve equity with the Bulls.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, he built that. Yankees, Babe Ruth deserved equity with the Yankees. But like, weren't going to get it.
Who do you think is someone who... Is there anyone who you think was drafted high like that if they had done that, it actually would have worked out? Like, it would have made sense. I'll say number one.
In
NFL, and I'll say... We'll just go NFL for the sake. Or if you think of some other sport, go ahead. But any number one overall pick that like basically played well enough to earn what you would consider like. We're talking equity is talk. We're talking like Super Bowl.
Obviously LeBron with Cleveland.
Yeah,
he probably could have gotten something.
I don't like anyone who's their draft pick getting equity. Like I could see
it would never make it would never make real sense to give equity to a fucking 22-year-old.
Right.
That hasn't done anything. But I basically just for this topic of discussion, if anyone that. They would never do it, but like actually would have earned it. Like LeBron would. Yeah,
but for Caleb Williams, if that is true, you think NFL owners are gonna budge on this.
I just think
God.
What a slippery slope.
I just don't. For the sake of Caleb
The
Williams,
cheapest fucking
it's
greedy
not true.
fucks in the world. Like, you think they're going to offer a lottery pick?
because on this
That kind of money?
on the same report, it was that they were trying to even potentially work something out with Rodgers with the Jets, where they were giving like a very obviously very small piece.
But that makes more
And,
sense.
makes more
that would make more,
sense.
and the NFL came in and was like, you can't do this. Like, you can't just start. We can't. The owner. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with the Browns giving Deshaun Watson the fully guaranteed contract, and Jim Irsay was the only one to stand up like saying publicly, like, we can't do this.
Right.
And then they're all going to want
Pandora's box.
They're all going to want full contracts. We can't fully guaranteed contracts. We can't start this narrative of the players getting their worth. We can't have this.
Yeah, LeBron would be the only draft pick coming in, and that was even situational in Cleveland because he's a hometown guy, where I could see that possibly happening, even though it never would.
Honestly, the Bucks probably owe Brady a little something.
I don't think so.
That would have been the one that would have made sense.
Honestly, you know what I mean?
I know they didn't draft him, but
The Patriots giving Brady equity would have made sense. Like,
Yeah,
maybe
that-
as you go to Tampa Bay.
post equity.
Do you think that Elway deserved it? I know he got drafted by a different team, but like he kind of set the standard for like I'm not going to play there.
I mean, yeah, he was the first one to really do it.
Eventually.
He did win them 2 Super Bowls
Yeah.
at the end.
He's the face of the Broncos. You know,
I mean,
like, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, by the end, yeah.
You could even make the argument he won them 3 because wasn't he like the president of football
Yeah.
operations? when
Yeah,
he won them
fair.
three?
Yeah. Although I don't think he's done a good
I
job.
got
He's
lucky.
done a good job with defensive talent.
Yeah.
His like drafting offensive talent, especially quarterbacks, hasn't been great. He's at Paxton Lynch, horrible. Osweiler, horrible. Like really bad misses, really bad. Not even like, he's a decent starter, just like out of the league and first round picks out of the league. And
Found a way to get Peyton, though.
yeah, no, he got it done there. Good for him.
Good recruiter.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get into some NFL, shout out Game Time. Game Time, our best ticketing app, GameTime.co. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. I've used it for UFC a bunch. It's awesome. We've all used the other ticketing apps where it's a hassle. You got to transfer them. Sometimes there's like I've gone where there's like annoying things at the door. Had to go back to will call, blah blah blah. Game Time is so easy. Last minute, cheapest tickets, flash deals, zone deals. Easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your arena. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsor deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. With zone deals, you pick the section, and Game Time picks the seats for an average of 18% savings. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section in a row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. That's a great deal. They're putting their money where their mouth is. Shout out Game Time. I've used them a bunch. I'm sure you guys have as well.
That's the best.
I'm sure you have for baseball quite a bit.
Of course.
Smitty probably you as well. Some baseball, maybe a concert.
Everything.
Game Time's awesome. Shout out Game Time. They're best ticketing app. They are GameTime.co. Good stuff. Shout out Game Time. I figure we'll get into some NFL. Honestly, I guess we'll get into even a little bit of tomorrow night's game. Jags Saints. They're saying Lawrence is very questionable right now. The line moved quite a bit. It's a problem.
I know. I keep
problem.
hearing different reports. I feel like every 8 hours we're getting a different report on Lawrence. Oh, he's going to play. He's not going to play. He's going to play. He's not going to play.
Now the line is leaning like he's not going to play. He didn't practice yesterday. Today will be a big day whether he practices or not.
The line is down to -1 right now.
So then he's going to play then?
Yeah, it's like it's going back and forth. That's why you got to
That's still that's a beyond Saints line.
for sure.
Like, there's no reason why the Saints.
That's why it kind of annoyed me because I was planning on playing the Saints regardless, but now everyone's going to play the Saints if Lawrence is out, which then it's going to make me almost want to go back to the Jags.
But if Lawrence is out, is 1 point enough? Like, you know what I mean? I want more than that if Lawrence is out.
I think it's like a line where in NFL I do like doing this. Marty kind of mentioned the other day where like the first backup start, I like taking the backup, and then don't take him the second time because I think people have such a knee jerk reaction to the starter and the backup, and there are times where it's a big gap. Like this could potentially be one of them. We've seen Beathard play before. He's okay. He's obviously not Trevor Lawrence, but I mean, Lawrence hasn't exactly lit the world on fire this year anyway.
And the Jags defense might be able to win this game on their own.
Yeah, I mean, the Jags defense has definitely played solid this season for sure. It's tough. Like it makes me almost want to take the Jags if he doesn't play.
The under the play here? The under right now is 39.5.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean the Saints
offense has been.
Someone said it this week. They're in their last 16. They're like 15-1 in unders.
Right now, the under is getting 92% of the money and 79% of the bets. So everybody.
Yeah, so which makes sense. Also, the Thursday night, like the primetime unders narrative has become pretty public now, but it's still been winning kind of regardless. I was saying to Smitty because I wrote down a bunch of the lines. I was next to when I wrote it down. That I think we're finally after last week. The unders went like 12-2-1 or something like that. And now on the season, unders are 61%. Insane clip. And I think we're finally starting to see the lines catch up. Bunch of lines under 30. I mean, there's only one line even over 50. There's only every line is under 45 or 45 or less besides 2.
It's crazy.
That's pretty high. Or 3. There's 2 that are 45.
And then there's Sunday night.
Yeah, it's Sunday night. But even
which is going to be a great.
That's the highest one. The Dolphins Eagles 52. That's the highest one by far.
Oh, you're right, Ev. I see a lot of 30s in here.
It's a lot. We're starting to see people are. I think the offenses are worse. I think part of it too is early in the season. Now they just get like no training camp. Like no one plays in preseason. So I think you see some sloppy play the first month, and you see obviously now we're in month 2, but I think you see it start to get going a little bit more. I figure we'll go through some of the games. Your Jags Saints -1 totals 40. One little one for me and Phil. Commanders at Giants. Giants +2. Total is 39.5. They had some good games last year. Game came down to the wire.
Who's starting?
They said earlier in the
Does that even matter? Which is sad.
No, I don't think it does. I don't think it really does.
How does that make you feel?
Empty inside, hollow, low, sad. Like I want to die, some might say. I've basically just been writing this thing where every time someone talks about his contract, I just comment saying no, it's only 2 years. That's become my thing. Like in my group chat, they're like, "You guys gave this bum 160." I just go 80. No 80. But I don't know. His neck. They said he was going to play like last week. They're like, "Oh, he'll be good next week." Now he's saying he's still dealing with some symptoms in his neck. I don't even saw this. There's this sports doctor who's come out and basically saying, I don't know how true this is at all, but this guy Jesse Morse, who's a real doctor, basically saying something with the type of neck injury that he has and that he's been around those types, where it's kind of a cliche thing where it's like he's one hit away from like it being done, but I guess you can kind of say that about anyone. But I don't know. He's kind of making some weird stuff about his neck, so I don't know what's going on with Daniel Jones.
Would you guys want to see, let's say the neck injury is maybe a bit more serious than we might think. Would you want to see them sit him for the whole year and maybe get the better draft pick? Are you guys at that point in the season yet? Or
Well, he could play, and we're still going to get the better draft pick. Let's just make that clear.
Yeah, he's probably not wrong. I'm somebody who I firmly just am like anti-tanking in football specifically.
Yeah.
I just think it doesn't build winning culture.
Yeah.
I think we've never seen it really work out. Like no one's ever done it on purpose. The only time we've seen it work out, if you will, was on a true tank. It was more like what was it like Luck, for example, like when Luck got drafted. Like Peyton Manning gets hurt for the whole year.
Right.
That was an on-purpose tank. They had lost a lot of their roster, gotten older. They basically just had Peyton Manning. He gets hurt. The team's all. You're starting Curtis Payton.
I mean, the Jaguars kind of tanked for Trevor Lawrence. The Jets tried to tank and couldn't do it right, of course.
Texans tried to tank last year, and Lovie Smith ruined that.
I actually saw something going off that Sean Payton was talking, which was interesting because I didn't remember this. Lovie Smith, we all know last year with the Texans failing to tank. Lovie Smith against the Buccaneers. Sean Payton was like, I love Lovie Smith, but he definitely tanked because when they played the Saints last week of the season, I guess, Lovie Smith pulled Levante David, all these defensive players, and I think it was for Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I remember.
So
really hard to get
it was
Jameis.
interesting being like, oh, Lovie Smith, Sean Payton calling him out for purposely tanking, taking players out in a close game, and then last year with the Houston Texans not doing it right.
Well, Lovie saw the writing on the wall. He knew he wasn't going to be
right. I just thought it was a little funny tidbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big difference if you know you're going to be there and be the coach in the future. Right, I tank. If I knew that I was done after this, fuck you. I'm going to try to win.
Yeah, but obviously this year they're going with D'Amico Ryans, and he's done a great job. The Texans' job has been weird the last few years.
Yeah.
Like they've just hired guys. Well,
Bill O'Brien kind of ruined them.
Yeah, but I'm saying he was there for a while. But like a guy like Lovie, where they hire him, the roster's horrible. Like, you know the team's going to be bad no matter how good of a coaching job he does. Like, he literally got hired to just be like a bridge coach.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really make sense to me. Like, what's the point of a bridge coach? Kind of just like wasted a year of your franchise. Obviously, it's kind of worked out, but it's kind of worked out almost by, not by luck, but
No, it was by luck.
it
It
seemed
the
like-
Panthers wanted Stroud first. They'd be in
that's
trouble
what
then.
I'm saying. Like, they've kind of struck gold by Stroud being better.
And Ryan being available at the right time.
Yeah, that too, for sure. And the defense has gotten better. I'll give them credit. This next one, Bills with little Dukes. Bills at Pats. Pats are +9. The total is 41.5. Dukes, I didn't bring this up. A good follows out of Sheen's Bets. He DMs me good stats. Mac Jones is 0-13 against the spread as a dog in his last 13.
Yeah, I know that.
0-13.
Yeah.
I also just the spot in general NFL wise. Bills coming off the loss in London, and then obviously a horrific performance against the Giants offensively. I think this is the Bills shit pumping.
I kind of like the Pats.
Do you?
Yeah.
The Pats are like firmly in my graveyard. I'm like really sticking to that. They just have fucked me so badly.
I'll be honest, the Bills are almost in my graveyard. They're just so frustrating. Even when they blow out teams, I get frustrated because, oh, yeah, they're this good. Why don't they play like this every fucking week?
Yeah, they've definitely
You
been.
never know what you get.
Yeah, they've been inconsistent. They've been waves this year. They obviously had the bad game against the Jets. Then they go crazy the next few weeks. Now the last week they've been down a little bit. That's why I kind of think it's a get right spot.
It's the same story.
I think the
every year.
problem with the Pats is too, like, they have like Judon's out, Christian Gonzalez out. So like that defense that at the beginning of the year I was sort of hanging the hat and like they've got a solid defense. You could argue their two best players are out on defense. That's a big problem.
How many players were out for the Giants last week?
Not really on defense.
I think it benefits the Patriots more if more players are publicly out because the Bills just don't give a fuck sometimes.
Pats could quietly bring back some like very good secondary pieces, like Jack Jones is returned to practice. He was our best corner last year, so like
Is J.C. Jackson going to play now?
he played. He actually kind of. I wasn't even going to say this all week, but like I didn't actually hate the way that they moved the ball in the second half, honestly. But yeah, J.C. Jackson kind of fucked the Pats. Like that pass interference in the fourth quarter against Devontae Adams. But yeah, he's firmly back. I'm just hoping this game is so bad and so ugly, and the Bills have done what they've done all year, where they play down to their like level, and the Pats are that bad, but they can make a sloppy game. So I'm a homer. I'm obviously going to take the Patriots because I'm a loser, and I love losing money on the Patriots, but it's not good betting advice. It's just I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Honestly, next game, one of the better games of the week. Lions at Ravens.
I think it's supposed to rain, by the way, in that New England game.
I could see that.
Something to keep an eye on.
Low,
So disgusting.
high number at a low total. Lions at Ravens. Ravens -3. The total is 42. I mean, this line I feel like kind of screams Ravens, but
It does, but I don't give a fuck. Lions.
the Lions have been an absolute wagon.
Lions money line.
I'm almost to the point now where I'm like, I might just like ride the Lions until they
They're
shut me
hot,
off.
man.
Like
They're hot. They come to
look
play.
good, too. They play really like
The Ravens are sloppy.
Ravens are so inconsistent. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I
They're
mean,
very good. Don't get me wrong, but I almost think they should be great in my mind, and they're not.
They should be.
the defense is good. Their receiving core has just been underwhelming. I mean, the run game too is they've done all right. They have been kind of. I agree with you. They've kind of been like almost frustrating a little bit because it's like, all the talent is there,
Right.
and they just kind of they haven't put it all together, but they've still been solid at the same
I felt
time.
like this the last couple years with them. And the Lions, you give me 3 points with the Lions, like it's hard to walk away from. I think I'm on the Lions.
To me, it's like the Lions are going to be a public dog, which I usually hate backing. That's a tough game. This next one, Browns at Colts. Colts +2. That's a Colts line.
They just announced that Richardson's officially out for the year.
Yeah,
I
I figured that. Yeah. That's tough. I mean, he looks so good. That's
Well, here's goes your theory. Is PJ Walker starting again? Are we going back up the backup?
That's what I was gonna say. You can't really. Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think you bet on the backup the first start. You fade on the second one. But now
This is the second start.
if Deshaun Watson doesn't play.
Yes.
Well, also if Watson plays, this line will flip a little bit. Well, not flip, but
Flip a lot.
it'll go up. Like the Browns will be. I'd imagine. What do you think he's worth in the line compared to PJ Tucker or PJ Walker?
5 points.
You think it's
That many?
that much?
Yeah.
I was
I'm
gonna
saying like 3.
I was gonna say like 2 or 3. I was gonna say the line goes up to like 4.5 maybe. instead of 2.
Okay.
7's a lot. Like going up to 7.
Yeah.
Laying 7 on the road would be a lot.
Yeah.
And especially with they haven't. Defense has always been very good. Offense hasn't lit it on fire. My come game. Raiders at Bears. Bears +3 total. 37.5, lowest of the weekend.
It's everything about this. The Raiders, McDaniels, Bears, Fields out, you coming. It's just
O'Connell versus Badgett.
it's disgusting.
Just take the under and smile, boys. Take the under and smile. Maybe even the Bears. Badgett's bad.
Are you scared
It's
off
really
at all?
But I saw from Badgett, he's bad.
It's really
You're not scared off of the 37.5 is a pretty low number. That doesn't worry you at all with this one?
It's low for a reason. It's
I
low
know,
because
yeah,
they
yeah,
stink that badly.
All right.
The Bears defense has played like just a little bit better. They have that than they did the beginning of the year at least. I mean, they had a pretty good performance against Kirk Cousins and the
Yeah,
Vikings.
they did.
Held them to 19. I mean, that's a solid performance of their defense. It wasn't home. This game's at home as well. I think Aiden O'Connell starting. Whether they go with, I think they have a better chance with Hoyer to win. I think O'Connell's upside is higher in terms of like what he's capable of doing, throwing the ball around. But Hoyer is definitely a better like decision maker, veteran. He's played a lot more in the NFL. They're saying they're going with O'Connell though, which I think is interesting. But he wasn't even really able to score much against. He scored 17 points against the Chargers, who I don't think their defense is very good. I guess they did just hold the Cowboys to 20, but I'm not big on them. I'll probably
disgusting game.
Obviously, it's Wednesday, so I'm not locking anything yet. I'd probably lean Bears in the under. Next, we got Falcons at Bucks. Bucks -2.5. Another really low total, 38. On all these NFC South games, there's under games. They all just play ugly-ass games.
Yeah.
None of them are good. They're bad teams.
Ritter's been like the man of like this, even though he lost his first home start last week. He's been the ultimate like Jekyll and Hyde, like bad at home, or it's gonna be good at home, bad on the road. Bucks -2.5 is kind of a. I thought they'd be like maybe minus like 4 here.
If Ritter plays another bad game and they lose, are you going Heineke? Because you gotta save the season at some point.
This is a team that's in playoff contention.
I think they give him a couple more. I think they give him at least one more.
Do you think they know that he's just not a franchise quarterback yet?
Yeah, I think they do.
And then why? Why are you?
Or I think they. You know what?
He's not either though.
I know, but Heineke gives you probably a better chance to win.
I think they like 80% know he's not the guy. I think there's still a little like he's had a couple good games where I think there's like a little bit of hope there for him probably that he's young, let him develop.
It sucks because 2 weeks ago he fucking lit it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where I'd say like realistically, like one of those where realistically they know he's not the guy, but they don't know he's not the guy. If that makes sense.
That's not a game I would want to watch or I'm excited to watch, but it's actually a pretty important game.
It is for the division. It's a huge game. Definitely this early in the season. I'd probably lean Bucks right now. Next, we got Cardinals at Seahawks. Seahawks -7.5. Total is 45.
Whoever's playing Survivor this week, Seahawks. They don't have many takeable games left. So you get them at home here.
Seahawks be 4-2. They win that game.
Yeah, I mean that division's turned out to. I mean, it's kind of gotten back to where it was a few years ago.
Rams are better, and
really Cardinals are the only team that aren't good. Like I think the Rams and Seahawks can both make the playoffs. I really do. Go to Steelers at Rams. This is a good game, actually. I like a lot. Rams -3. Total's 43.5. Steelers are coming off the bye. Rams coming off a very good win over the Cardinals, where they kind of beat the shit out of them, especially in the second half. This is weird because the Steelers need one really bad.
We'll talk about an under game.
It's 43.5 is the total, so
Yeah.
not super low compared to some of the other games. Steelers are so weird too because their offense has been so bad, but their defense has won them a couple games. I almost think it's like a plug your nose play the Steelers spot. Like they're basically calling this game a pick 'em on neutral site. Rams -3 at home. They've been at home a few weeks in a row.
Maybe they know TJ Watt's getting Stafford in the first quarter.
Maybe. I kind of like the Steelers there. Next one, we got last few games are all like pretty good games besides one. Chargers at Chiefs. Chiefs -5.5. Total is 48.5.
Now listen to this. Chargers, not a good team. Not a good team.
No.
We agree with that. They're sloppy. They're bullshit. They have talent at some positions. They're flashy, but overall they can't put it together.
Very
And we can agree it's been that way for a couple of years now.
For sure.
The last 6 games the Chiefs have played the Chargers, it has been a 1-score game.
Yep. I know. I was going to say
And close, it has been a battle.
Charger. If this line gets to 6, I mean, I love the Chargers regardless. I was going to say, I remember they always play them tight. I will gladly take 5.5 with the Chargers on the road. And I'd even play the over. I think that they both, these games always turn into shootouts, I feel like.
My mistake, 5 of the last 6. But the last 4, definitely.
I wouldn't be totally shocked that Chargers is like pull. This is why the Chargers are the weird team, because they'll lay a fucking stinker on primetime against the Cowboys and then go like beat the Chiefs on the road. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
I hate betting against Patrick Mahomes so much.
I love it because it's a money machine.
Yeah.
I just get so nervous. I
that's
just watch him play. I hate like watching the game transpire. It's so frustrating.
He's just not like they're just so overvalued all the
Yeah,
time.
no, that makes sense.
He's just
And they haven't
against the
looked that great
spread.
this
They're
year.
just not good.
I mean, the Chargers
overall.
haven't looked that great this year, I guess.
No, for sure not. Yeah, I like the Chargers a lot catching points here. I think it's a close because you want to know what happens. What the reason you get nervous is because you don't realize how many times when you're watching them come back, it's where they're losing and they come back and win by like 3.
Yep.
And they don't cover the spread.
happens a lot.
Yeah,
does,
they do
it
quite
does.
a bit. Really gross game. Packers at Broncos. Broncos +1. Total is 45.
How?
I think this
How?
is this. I think this is like a legacy game for me with the Broncos.
How?
This is if the Broncos don't win, you bet the Broncos. They don't win. They don't cover. They're graveyarded.
I sneaky almost want to make Broncos my best bet.
I
NFL
like this
weekend. It's
line.
crazy.
This line is a Broncos line. I think
It's
I
more against Jordan
They've
Love.
been so bad, and they're only +1. And we've seen the Packers have been very shaky. Love has this like good start the first few weeks. He's been bad, and we've seen some of the stats how Aaron he's been, how inaccurate he's been throwing the ball.
Who was it? I don't know. It was Dukes, right?
I'd probably take over just because the Broncos defense is bad too.
Someone had that stat where Love is the most when he misses by more than any other.
Yeah, I think it was his. It was as of like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
but it was like 30-something, like 38% of his passes are like uncatchable.
Right.
Like not even in the radius of the receiver, like missing bad, really.
That worries
And
me in a
against
place
a
like
bad
Denver.
defense, like the Broncos, you could look at a bad defense getting some turnovers.
Right.
Russell hasn't been. He hasn't been great, but
he's
he hasn't
been like good on paper, weirdly enough.
Right. Paper good.
He's had a lot of good like that Commanders game. They have like the great first half. They end up blowing it. This is the game of the weekend for sure. Sunday night.
Oh yeah.
Dolphins at Eagles. Eagles -2. Highest total 52. Smitty, I'll give you the floor.
Look, Eagles defense has not been as impressive as it's been in the past. Yeah, they played the Jets last week and held them to 20 on a last-minute touchdown, but, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Dolphins are going to score points. Eagles are going to score points. Nobody's being stopped. Sit back and enjoy the ride, baby. Sit back and enjoy the ride. I still think the Eagles win, but it's going to be a shootout.
Yeah, I like the Eagles. So I think the Eagles are just more physical. I think that's where they'll win.
I think home field has a lot to do with it,
For
too.
sure, that as well.
I think if this is in Miami, it'd probably swing the other way.
Because I like the Dolphins a lot. Like, obviously, what's not to like about them? I just think they're so destined. Not saying they'll never get over the hump, but I just feel like they're a team that is they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to probably win the. Well, I guess we'll see about the division. They're definitely going to make the playoffs.
You saw it in Buffalo a couple weeks ago.
I just think they're destined to go play a playoff game and look at the AFC, like, whether they have to go to Kansas City or Buffalo or Cincinnati or Baltimore or even Cleveland. Like, I just think those are bad scenarios for them in January.
Of course.
Very, very bad. And I just think that's they're kind of destined to have this sexy regular season. They put up, who knows? I mean, they could fuck around and put up most yards in NFL history. I think they're on
But
pace
the
for it.
Eagles secondary is decimated right now. They are hurt and injured. And
Bradbury's he's been playing. Well, he played last
he's
week.
playing okay, but I mean, there's a couple other guys that just out, and the pass rush hasn't been there as effective as last year. This is the type of game when Tyreek Hill could get 300 yards.
Is Maddox done for the year?
Yes,
That's tough.
week 1, I believe.
So, are we thinking Dolphins here?
I kind of think Eagles, but it weirdly enough is a little bit to me of. I mean, the Eagles are coming off the loss. That's why it's tough to say it's like a
They
Dolphins
looked
line.
bad too.
That's why I kind of think it's the Eagles line because Dolphins have been very sexy.
Yeah.
And the Eagles are laying two. I mean, they're basically calling it a pick'em game. Dolphins like slight favorite on a neutral site, but I like my knee jerk right now is the Eagles for sure. I was doing some college real quick. There are 2 games tonight. I'll give the picks I have in college. Sam Houston State. This is for the real the gamblers. 0-5. 0-5 team is their first year in FBS. They're laying 5 tonight. You want to know why they're laying 5, Clemmer?
Why is that?
Because they're going to win. They're going to get their first, actually 0-6, excuse me. 0-6 this season. Their defense is really good.
Scored more than 10 points last game, huh?
Their offense is figured out a little bit. Their defense has been great all season. Their offense is catching up. They're laying 5 against FIU, whose defense is horrific. Give me Sam Houston State -5. Get their first win in college football in FBS. And tonight, I'm laying 3 on the road with New Mexico State. I like their quarterback, Diego Paiva. He's very good. Dynamic guy, can throw, can run. Their offense has got something figured out. I think they're pretty dynamic. They score a lot of points. Give me. They actually just came off. They just beat Sam Houston State by 2 touchdowns. They smashed FIU. Give me New Mexico State -3. And in the baseball game, I'm taking the over 9. I think the Astros bats wake up. I'm not sure if I'm going to play the Astros money. I think I'm just going to play the over. But I think the Astros bats finally wake up a little bit.
Oh, I like the Astros a lot tonight. +110.
This is their best chance to win by far.
It's an absolute must.
I mean, you got my best pick is because I really just don't know what we're gonna get from Scherzer, but I do know he won't go long in the game. Under 12.5 outs, you can get that I think at -110.
I also like Scherzer over 4.5 strikeouts. He might not get 12.5 outs, but he also might strike out the side in the first 2 innings, throwing 50 pitches.
Just worry he's not going to be in the game long enough to get enough strike. You know what I mean?
But that's what he does. He throws a lot of pitches and he strikes a lot out, even if he gives up a lot of base runners. Even when he was shit during the year, he was still striking people out.
If he's able to pitch long enough, I love that bet. I just worry they're going to yank him after 3 or something silly.
Yeah, they'll yank him after 3 with 8 strikeouts.
Before we go, I have the updated records as of this morning. Rico, the only one in red.
Ev.
I mean, you can't hate any of them.
Ev is just.
I've had.
What are you doing?
Honestly, I've hit some like. I play like some personal parlays and shit for fun. I haven't posted those.
Oh my god!
I said this, Smitty. The last like week or two I've had. Last week might have been the best gambling week of my life.
Also, I'm
just making like money.
I haven't been submitting all my last minute picks. I had a +4,000 the other night.
You did actually. I saw it in real time. Nope. Smitty really did. He had
I got it.
You don't have to record it. It's okay.
No.
Baseball
It's not
parlay.
me.
That was.
No, I know.
It's not me.
No. He does a great job.
No. Smitty was saying.
Shout out PMT Stats and Info.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
If you guys, I don't know if he's DM'd you or whatever.
Yeah.
Always tweet out your plays. Anything you want marked, he should see at the end of the night. Anything that he doesn't see, I DM him just what I see. So.
Yeah, he's really good. He tries his best to stay on top of it. I know that.
You know, I tweet my plays every day.
Smitty, I'd vouch for your. I saw it happen in real time. Your parlay. That was
hit in the first inning.
That was legit. It was a monster.
It was Schwarber home run, Harper home run, over half a run in the first inning. Phillies win and we were over 6 strikeouts.
Boom.
That was it.
Yeah, I usually the little funny first touchdowns. I usually don't play for.
Yeah.
I usually don't grade them just because I'm just fucking around with them a little bit. Yeah. Don't give them out, but the boys are gambling well. Even the worst gambler being down 3 units for the month. It's not bad. Not bad at all.
As a group, we're doing great.
Very well.
Carrying us, but as a group,
the boys are giving out winners.
Really?
I love to see it.
How about the Monster Money Line parlay? And he might.
If he didn't have Monster Money Line parlay, I'd be in much better shape.
What's your knee jerk Monster Money? I mean, so I guess it'd be the Bills.
The only 2 I know
Bills,
that are going to be on
Bills
there.
and Seahawks.
Bills and Seahawks. And
those are 2 the only really. They're only
get one more in there
touchdown.
to get it to a decent.
I mean, the other biggest line would be Niners at Vikings, but that's not till Monday.
I don't like that. Also,
it's also Monday night, so it's not
I'm
really.
scared of the night. The guys are hurt. I don't know. I got
the next highest would be the Chiefs at 5.5.
No, I don't like that.
Which I think.
I gotta find something. I gotta look. Gotta go into the lab, as you say, right?
Get in the lab. Yep. Right. I'll be in the lab. Appreciate you guys. Tune in. Make sure you like the stream. I'll be out there next couple days. The boys will be back though tomorrow, Friday. Be giving winners, giving picks, breaking down the games. Appreciate you tuning in. See you tomorrow.